The idea of Zuhura Solutions, of course, Zuhura is a Swahili word for planet Venus, which means the brightest planet in the galaxy. So we wanted to really build a solution, or probably form a company that gives people hope. Well, I think it's just because the sector happens to be overlooked, but the food vendors play a big role. Just as you said, 2.5 billion people depend on street food sector. That is, according to the FAO. When you look at the African context, 70% of the African population at least depend on the street food. When it comes to Kenya, you can see those numbers increasing just because the informal sector happens to employ a lot of people. We are talking of productive uses of energy, whereby we are not just providing a solution, we are providing a sustainable solution. Like I say, the street food vendors are highly overlooked, but they play a very critical role, in feeding our masses. So how do we provide them with a sustainable solution that both makes them profitable in their businesses, but also makes their business more appealing? Yes.
Hi there, welcome to the Startup Evangelists. This is Daniel Kichwa. As always, we talk about ideas for Africa. I'm joined by an esteemed guest, Mr. Benson Kibiti. Before I tell you more about him and what we're going to talk about, I just want to encourage you to keep subscribing, liking, and sharing our page. Let's keep the engagement rolling. We do really value your feedback. Just to start us off, so Benson, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you.
Just for those who do not know him, Benson is co-founder and CEO of Zuhura Solutions, a clean cooking tech-enabled startup, and he'll talk more about it. But generally, he's quite an established professional with over 15 years experience in the clean energy and adjacent spaces. So good to have you on the discussion.
Well, thank you so much, Taya.
Maybe to start us off, where was the idea of Zuhura started? I know you could have worked on many other things.
Yeah.
So how was it started, and why did you sort of think about it as an area of attack? Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much, and it's great to be on this platform. Thank you so much. So the idea of Zuhura Solutions, I think, we began our journey back in 2018, and it's because, the three co-founders, Moses, there's Leod, there's Felistus. We went to the same campus, Day State University. And I think the conviction was because back in campus, we were trying to survive, where you're trying to have a meal, but at the same time, keep up with your studies. So we highly depended on the street food, right? Just to make sure that we got fed. And so the idea of, Zuhura Solutions, of course, Zuhura is a Swahili word for planet Venus, which means the brightest planet in the galaxy. So we wanted to really build a solution, or probably form a company that gives people hope. And of course, in 2018, we met at a clean energy conference, and we thought of a solution, which was around how do we build a solution that would empower communities back home. And so that's how the idea of the Halisi Trolley was ideated. And we thought of, putting together a cooking solution for the food vendors who we were highly dependent on while in campus. Yes.
Interesting. You've mentioned how you've traced sort of the problem to your early days in campus, and how you experienced, affordable food.
Yes.
When I went through your website just prior to this, there's a statistic you mentioned. Your team mentioned that over 2.5 billion people annually rely on street food.
Yeah.
So it was quite interesting to see that this is a very huge addressable market. Maybe from your work now in Kenya.
Yeah.
Why do you think that solutions for street food have not been prioritized as it were up until maybe Halisi came on board?
Well, I think it's just because the sector happens to be overlooked. But the food vendors play a big role. Just as you said, 2.5 billion people depend on street food sector. That is, according to the FAO, when you look at the African context, 70% of the African population least depend on the street food. When it comes to Kenya, you can see those numbers increasing just because the informal sector happens to employ a lot of people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people becoming in this sector, it could be in terms of employment, informal employment, but also people depend on the street food to feed. And of course, the foods are affordable, meaning that a lot of people are able to acquire this, for these meals.
Yeah.
But at the same time, one statistic that is very interesting is that 80% of the food vendors are women, right? And so we are thinking, or we are building a solution that is, acting as a special purpose vehicle to feed the masses, but at the same time empowering women and youth. So we are looking at two ways. One is a solution; it's a clean energy solution that falls in the nexus of food. Like looking at those two different parts, food and energy. We are building a solution that is really, first of all, forging access to affordable, nutritious, and safe meals. And so a lot of people depend on street food. And of course, if you go to a lot of university students, they depend on the street food. So it's a very interesting demographic where, first of all, there are people who eat street food for their daily survival.
Yeah.
But also, it's a sector that happens to feed a lot of people.
Yeah.
We're looking at it from that perspective. It's a big market opportunity.
And then it's also a big employer, right?
Exactly.
So providing technologies that people can be more productive, I guess.
Yes,
make it a no-brainer.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we're talking of productive uses of energy, whereby we're not just providing a solution, we're providing a sustainable solution. Like I say, the street food vendors are highly overlooked, but they play a very critical role, in feeding our masses. So how do we provide them with a sustainable solution that both makes them profitable in their businesses, but also makes their business more appealing? Yes.
So this is a 3D printer.
Yeah, it helps us with the rapid prototyping.
Okay.
Testing new concepts. Something as simple as this. This is a knob. This is a simple knob that we wanted to for the clean cook, for the biofuel cooked oven. So this is more of a handle where you cannot touch the hots, so you have to use
so you have to program it.
Yeah, you have to design it. So you have to design it on order, and then you feed it. Then it gives you the information. This is a USB charging. So the trolley, they have a USB charging component. Or something like this. Where this is a LCD.
So this was done here.
Yes. Here.
But 3D printing is going to transform manufacturing.
Yeah.
Because now before this one, if you didn't have this, you import it right like in China or
here. What I can tell you is that it can run for about 2 weeks straight.
Interesting. And then for the solution you are sort of building, it's I have interacted with it. It's quite capex heavy. and it's not very easy to build such products in these markets from the ground up. Ideally because cost of production is quite high compared to sourcing these products, say from other markets like China. So from your experience, how has been your product development journey? Noting that it's quite it's not a very easy solution to start it.
Yeah, I would say we've been fortunate enough to raise some grants. Building hardware is not easy. It's not a walk in the park. But at the same time, we've been able to do a lot of bootstrapping where you're funding the startup from your pocket. Just because you believe in the vision, but also you see the power, the ability of the Halisi Trolley, how it's able to transform people's lives. I think that really informs us, informs our vision in terms of building a sustainable solution. Of course, the cost of sheet metal has been increasing. They use stainless steel, which is recommended because it's wood grade. And this can be a very expensive item when it comes to production. But at the same time, we've been able to raise money, and I think 70% of our money that we've been able to raise goes to fabrication, production, meaning that we are spending more money in building this product, but while knowing that there's a big market opportunity, with scale, then we're able to reach out to other manufacturers. We're able to lock the prices, just because the prices of steel, they keep fluctuating. So we need to lock those prices with local manufacturers for us to be able to stick to certain prices for the stainless steel.
Interesting. And then from have you because I know like right now you're in your almost fourth iteration of your product. Have you seen either a trend of these costs going down the more you standardize production, or what are the areas of learning or innovation you've seen from that experience in products developing?
That's a good question. Well, the market, the prices of steel are continued to increase. What we've seen is that every time you order things in bulk, it becomes very cheap. It becomes affordable for you. So we buy our metals, locally in Nairobi. Sheet metal. What we try to do is buy in bulk. Right? You're not just going to buy one item. And so the idea of buying one item becomes very expensive. If you go to a factory, buy things in bulk. Let's say we bought 100 wheels. It becomes more affordable than just buying one. So I think the trend has always been try and buy things in bulk. Expensive, but that's how you're able to really maintain your profits. Otherwise, if you decide to buy one commodity at a time, it becomes very expensive.
Interesting, because it's also like a chicken and egg because of working capital. When you buy too many raw materials, you have so much in terms of holding cost, but also at least more visibility in terms of price stability for your products. And then going now a step further, after you leave the production process, there's the aspect of selling these products. Fortunately or unfortunately, as it were, you are selling to customers who are price sensitive, the target segment that you're reaching out to. So affordability is a very big concern. So maybe you want to say something about how you've been approaching the issue of affordability, either from credit offerings or partnerships, for example.
Good question, Daniel. I think for us, what has been working out so well is the business model. So we have, 3 different business models. So the one is whereby someone comes and says, I want to buy this product, buys them upfront. But for the vendors, we understand that they have low access to capital. So we've introduced a pay-go option where they're able to pay a certain amount on daily basis about a period of time. And when we talk to the vendors, once they understand that, you're just buying tokens, and what that means is by buying tokens, you're buying the trolley over, a period of time. It's more appealing. The other business model is whereby a vendor would come and list the trolley, use it on a daily basis, pay it on a daily basis, lease to operate. And whereas now the other one is lease to own. So you pay for pay bill over a period of time. So the business model of been, again, like you said, vendors, a lot of our customers are price sensitive, and so we try to really fit in based on their operation of course by really introducing the pay go option. We've really been working out so well.
Interesting. And then still back on the issue of affordability. Obviously, it's even before you provide credit, it has to start from back to production.
That's correct.
And you've mentioned the bulk procurement and all.
Yeah.
Maybe since you are shooting this from KIRDI, the Kenyan Industrial Research Development Institute.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to tell us about the partnership in terms of leveraging their production capabilities and their innovations and their manufacturing ability to to go to market much faster than it were if you bid it all in-house.
Yeah, thank you. So KILDI, Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute, played a big role in terms of playing the catalytic role. What that means is that they have been able to give us access to machines of manufacturing. So if you to set up your own system, buy about these machines, the CNC laser cutting machine, those are expensive commodities or expensive machines to really acquire as a startup. So the facility, it's a government facility where we are accessing, these machines at a highly subsidized price. Meaning that at least be able to manufacture, fabricate our products at a very high pace, just because of that opportunity of being able to work with the technical experts. And Zuhura as a team, we have a team of engineers. What makes our life easy is because they understand how these machines operate. And of course, through the subsidy, to the government, the government facility, our work becomes easier. One thing to mention is that Zuhura was fortunate enough to be onboarded on the KIEP project. It's a World Bank funded project, which is purely supporting entrepreneurs on technical, on that, product development journey. And through this project, it's more of an incubation where, they're looking at our solution saying, do you need the KEPS standardization mark? Do you need what kind of support? I mean, they ask all these type of questions, but of course for us, it was more of trying to optimize the product for mass production. At least we are very happy that we've been able to achieve that goal. Now, our next move is to mass produce this solution. We are calling out on partners to really work with us to see how best we can scale this product. The market opportunity is huge. Not just about Kenya. We're talking about East Africa. Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda. Okay, these are big markets that people really need access to affordable meals. And so using solar powered solution, and of course we do have two versions. We do have two versions. So we have the full electrical solution. What that means is that you have a solar panel, we have a battery, and the trolley, the vendors can charge mobile phones. We have an IoT integration component, the able to track where these trolleys are remaining. That's the fully electrical trolley. Now we have the other one where the vendors say, Zuhura Solutions, we need to cook. So we actually develop a cook stove, a cook stove, that makes their work easy. They don't have to think about charcoal. Initially we built a warming solution. Now we've also built a cooking solution where vendors can cook food and serve their customers on the go.
TNC laser cutter.
Laser cutter.
Laser cutter for different types of cheap metals. Different can cut from the thinnest material, maybe 0.2 millimeters thick, all the way up to 8 millimeters thick of any material that so it does all the cuttings and delivery for you. It assists you with the bending operations later on.
And you program now the dimensions.
Right, so before any cutting operation is done, you have to do the design, and you come here to the nesting, and before the nesting you have to give the CNC machine the instructions to carry out, which is bending, drawing bending lines, with the cutting line. Sometimes it does the delivery for you. Those ones assist you further on in the production line. So this is the monitor where you do everything. So it can do any number of feet, even up to 2,000, as long as the instructions are continually given, it will give the job. So the next machine we have is a CNC pipe bending machine. So this one carries out instructions based on, again, you program it, do the actual bends. Like you see for our products, there are those curves that you've incorporated. So to achieve them, you have to come to this machine, we put in the right die, program the right forces and the right the right bending speed, and it does it for you. From there, we can come to the bending machine. Of course, once you've done the bending work, the laser cutting, there are those bending lines that are normally drawn on the material. So you come to the bending machine, it's best the punch and the die. So just press the foot pedal and it does the bending for you. You can always make the adjustments to get the angle that you want. The acutest angle it can do is, we're using one pen, is 26 degrees, but you've been able to manipulate it in such a way that you can do hems as well. And the largest angle it can do for you is at 179 for you. So that's its range. Over here we have a plasma cutter. So sometimes we have very thick materials the laser cannot do. You need more power. So that's what it does. Like this is a 12 millimeter plate, and this is a 1 inch plate.
This is for the wider diameters, kind of see.
Yes. If the accuracy isn't that required, you use a plasma cutter to do the job. For high accuracy jobs, use the laser. That's very good. And the final machine within this workshop, we have the rolling machine. You use it to roll all kinds of sheet metals to different shapes. You can use it for rolling even different tubes.
If you want a cylindrical shape,
yes,
circular, this is what you
semi-circle. This is for thick material. For very light materials that need a quick turnover, we normally use the manual roll over there to get the job done quickly.
So interesting that you are sort of have products that are both replacing charcoal.
That's correct.
But from different attack points. You have solar fully integrated, and you have the bioethanol option.
Yes,
and it sort of gives the customer variety based on their needs and how their business is structured and what they want to actually cook.
Typically, a charcoal cook stove would emit close to 6 tons of CO2 annually. And so that's what we're getting rid of using our solution. Some of the vendors, the reason we have 2 solutions is because some of the vendors, they sell something with Cosmo keys. It's pre-cooked. All they need to do is warm it. And so we developed a solution to make sure that this food is kept warm all the way to 95 degrees, which are almost boiling point. The other solution is because some of the vendors, they want to diversify their meals, the type of food they sell to their customers. And so we built a bioethanol cook stove, which now the vendors are not thinking about charcoal anymore. It makes their time easy, but also time as a resource, whereby typically a vendor would spend 30 minutes every day lighting a cook stove. So that's time that we're giving back to the vendor and saying you can be more productive. So the bioethanol solution, they're able to diversify what they serve their customers, but also the other, a fully electrical, they're able to generate extra revenue by charging mobile phones via lighting components where vendors can operate, after light, or adding more productive hours to their businesses. So you can see, we're looking at this from a different perspective, and of course working with the vendors to make sure that they, we understand their needs. The other thing is, the M-Pesa integration. Everybody is able to access M-Pesa. So vendors are able to buy tokens every day, and what that means is that by buying token, they're acquiring the trolley of over a period of time.
Interesting. You've also mentioned the fact that the conventional charcoal stoves, they emit 6 tons on average per year. I know that's also related to environmental impacts of, clean cooking. But the sector, as we know, has, had challenges with overestimation. Some overestimate the impacts of their products, maybe to earn more carbon credit or other types of funding incentives. From your perspective, and I know Zuhura, you've been thinking about it, how are you going to either leverage on technology and product design to make sure the environmental tracking and the impacts you're projecting and measuring and reporting on have a sense of credibility either to investors, donors, and other partners who are interested in such information?
Yeah, I think for us, is working with partners like Vera, where we adopt specific standardization, methodologies that will help us really, make our product more credible. And of course, that we can only achieve if we produce these trolleys in a certain numbers. If we have 1,000 production, then it makes also our life easy in terms of being able to account, the CO2 emissions. But I think the way forward is for us to integrate or adopt the methodologies that have been out there in the industry. Yeah, of course, working with local partners here like KIRDI, and of course KIEPs, just to make sure that we are adopting the right methodology. Yeah, to make sure that our product is not just another policy out there. Yeah, that people are just benchmarking and saying this is the amount of the CO2 that we are getting rid of. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I've had the issue of working with established partners who are domain experts in those areas like Vera.
Yeah.
In terms of their carbon tracking methodology.
That's correct.
And then using technology.
Yeah.
To remotely track.
Yeah.
Usage and consumption.
Yeah.
And then also working with other enablers in the process. Yeah. So it's quite interesting. Looking forward to doing on that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the most interesting bit is that we're building a solution whereby we've had conversations with our most relevant partner. We're calling them Akem Tarani. They're working with folks with chronic illness. And so in as much as that we're building a solution to support these people who are well, the doctors are also keen on trying to monitor the radiation niche where these vendors are operating in. So we're building a solution that, using the IoT component, and of course, we're also thinking about the future of AI in our solution, is how do we leverage the Halisi Trolley to be able to monitor all this, besides the CO2, what other could be emissions, it could be radiation. Again, looking at it from more perspective, you're building a solution that is going to help us understand how the vendors do their businesses, but also how can we make sure that the areas where vendors are operating are more safe. But of course, that would require partnerships with different institutions. It's a solution that is going to appeal to so many other sectors.
Yeah. And maybe another question would be still related to production. Being a Kenyan innovator, what would you say, pieces of advice you'd give other, younger entrepreneurs wanting to, either innovate in manufacturing, based on the lessons you've learned, the challenges they've gone through? What would you say are some of, key nuggets that they could consider, when they're starting their own venture?
Yeah, I think the aspect of taking a risk, I think that's one of the key components when it comes to entrepreneurship. Yeah, be willing to take that risk and be willing to invest in your idea.
Yeah.
For us, it's been a journey where we've been, ideating, prototyping, failing fast and failing forward.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the aspects whereby no matter how difficult the journey is, you just need to keep going. We've had entrepreneurs, a lot of them, you've heard about the valley of death, right? So people there, that becomes the end of your dream. Yeah. So I think consistency, persistence, and just believing in your vision, it really going to determine, but also willing to, raising money, especially, in our context, you require a lot of, credit for you to raise, someone will say, you need to have an idea, but in the real sense, you need to have a product, right? Some investors invest in ideas, others invest in great products. So a lot of investors in our journey have always believed in seeing the products at work. So if you're building hardware, I think, or probably software, I think at the end of the day, if you have users, that becomes your point of validation. I think for me, what I've also learned is, having seeing the end user satisfied. That should be your drive. That should be your motivation. The finances will always be a challenge, but you should always persevere to have your end user tested properly. Once you have your product in the market, try and listen to your customers. Those are the people that really matter, and that has really been our motivation. Where we give our products to other customers, the vendors, they provide us the feedback. So as an entrepreneur, believe in your vision, but at the same time stick through to make sure at least you're able to work with the end user. And once your product lasts to the end user, then I think you will start receiving all this type of feedback. It could be positive, but also be open to critique. Some people will say it doesn't work. We've had moments where people see the Halisi Trolley and think it's being built in China. Not being built in China. It's being built right here in Kenya. Yeah. So even for the most ingenious solution, they can be done locally, right? And we believe the Halisi Trolley is one of those unicorns that has been built locally, and you want to scale, to other African markets. Yeah. But of course, the journey is believing in yourself and just trying to, understand that at the end of the day, you have end users who are looking forward to use your product.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the trolley this is the fabrication shop where after all the materials have gone through the previous processes, we put them we piece them together through welding, different welding processes. So this is the trolley that we are fabricating over here, the Halisi Trolley solar powered one. So all the welds for the various materials, that's the mild steel and the stainless steel is normally done here according to instructions that are given. So in any case, any fabrication error occurs, we can normally retrace it back to where the issue came from, and we are able to determine how to solve that. If it came from here, you switch it from here. If it came from the other place, you switch it to the other place. But this is normally the very final stage. The second to last stage, during the fabrication process, realizing the product out in the field. This is the tube cutting machine where we cut the small but also square hollow section. This is a machine that does it. It does it in masses, so you can cut at least up to 5 different things at the same time to ensure that you move faster. You can help us reduce the amount of time that it takes to make one particular product as opposed to cutting one piece at a time like we used in the past. Then when you come behind me, this is the other pipe cutter. We use it for solid steel rods. For solid steel rods. It has a greater cutting force. Of course, right now it's out of commission because it broke down, but when you need to cut the really big rod diameters, it's the machine that we use, because the other machine, the steel cutter, is able to apply the texture machine. And right in front of us, this is the powder. So this is the powder coating section. This is the very final stage of the fabrication process, that we undergo at Zuhura to get our product out there. So after everything has been done, we've done the material cleaning, quality, and everything. We come in and apply the powder coating paint onto the material, onto the product, and we place it in the oven. Right behind you is a spraying booth where we do all the painting, and the oven is over here. The baking temperature varies from manufacturer to manufacturer. For us, we use the temperature range between 200 and 250 degrees Celsius to get our product to the required finished material.
So this is the lathe machine. Lathe
Yes, this is the lathe machine. Yes, so because our parts are unique to our product, we need specialized manufacturing practices to ensure that we get them unique to our product. We chose that route as opposed to the easy standard parts route because, of course, anyone can copy your product. And if you design it in such a way that every system within everything that's incorporated into the product works only for you, it's very difficult. Someone might copy, yes, but getting things to be done the way they're supposed to be done is going to be very difficult. And one of the ways that we achieve our uniqueness in our products is through the lathe machine, where we do tailor-made fittings for our products that we know are intended to our machine only. And this is where we do it. So this is where the turning happens, the threading happens, any other manipulation you want to do to any fitting that you want that's going to be added to the solely, you do it over there. Yeah, this is a 3-jaw. We have a 4-jaw. So this is only for cylindrical products like uniform.
And is it fully semi-automatic? It's manual?
No, this is manual. It's not really
manual because you have
you have to turn the handles all manually
and wheels and
remove everything, even when doing that. This is the gear that you engage with the reverse of.
So it doesn't require too much accuracy.
No, this one requires a lot of accuracy because you have to get the correct skilled technician to execute the job the way you want it done. Because dealing with all these dials and knobs is not easy.
Interesting, you've mentioned ability to iterate fast.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
The second thing I've heard is ability to take feedback.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Don't be afraid of taking criticism from the market, from partners, from your team.
Yeah.
I think the other third thing I've heard is also work with the resources you have. Fundraising is important.
Bootstrapping will
probably you need to bootstrap a bit, especially for if you're for investors who are targeting product, investing in the product rather than the idea. So they need to see the product first. So you need to bootstrap before you're able to get their funding.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that also shows the investor that you've got the skin in the game, right? They need to see that you're invested.
They
need to see that you're
passionate.
You're passionate about the solution that you're building. So definitely don't feel limited in investing from your pocket. I think that was been our experience. But of course, we are grateful, to the funders that have been, supporting us and looking forward to, scaling our solution and working with partners.
And then last question would be, from your own definition, what would success look like? I know you've already had a fair amount of success. You're award winning. Your product has won award. You've now launched almost, I would say now a product that is ready for the market. You've gotten good reviews from customers. You're starting to generate a buzz with investors globally. What would you say would be, success maybe 3-5 years from now? Are you looking into other markets? What would that look like?
I think success for us is, being able to reach other East African markets. And of course, we've had people from as far as Namibia reaching out and saying, can we have this solution in Namibia? We had folks from Nigeria saying, can we have this solution in Lagos? But for us is a key milestone would be being able to serve close to 5,000 customers in 5 years from now. But of course, we have to start from somewhere. Currently, our numbers are looking good. We're thinking of 100 plus customers this year. But at the end of the day, we want to scale to other markets. And one of the key markets that we are really keen on is Tanzania and Uganda, and of course, Rwanda. But Tanzania happens to have a very big, vibrant street food sector. So those are the markets. And of course, Southeast Asia is another vibrant market. People go to Southeast Asia to eat street food. So why not? We do have, we're thinking of countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, right?
I'm even imagining you've mentioned Southeast Asia. I think we were talking offline of a trip I went to Bangkok.
Yes.
and there the street food culture is very vibrant. You can feel it.
Yeah.
And it also embeds with tourism. So you find tourists actually, going in tuk-tuks, in, borders just to taste and sample local cuisine.
Yeah.
So I can imagine, Zuhura tapping into also the tourism ecosystem in some of these markets. Yeah, like particularly I will even think in Kenya, like Mombasa and other coastal cities. That, and you've mentioned Tanzania, which in a way, places like Dar es Salaam, Zanzibar have a similar vibe. So I would think of, probably those markets could be at play based on those local contexts.
Absolutely. In Nairobi, we have the Nairobi Street Food Festival. We've been attending that festival, and it's it's about food and culture. Why can't we have Kisumu Food Festival? Why can't we have Eldoret? All these major counties, it could be Nakuru.
Yeah.
Where we are trying to transform our cities.
Yeah.
We're very keen to work with the Nairobi City County.
Yeah.
Just because there are so many vendors, and that sector itself is creating a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
So why can't we work with the Nairobi Street Food, the Nairobi City County, to just have a day where we are blocking one street and saying we want to appreciate how our vendors are making our meals, but they're not just making good meals. They're making good meals using the Halisi Trolleys, which is sustainable, solar powered. It's a clean energy solution.
Yeah.
But definitely the vision is there where we want to focus on other markets.
Yeah.
But I think hitting 1,000 to 5,000, our customer base within 5 years, and of course, we have to then continue being big.
Yeah. Interesting. You mentioned the county. I know there's been friction with the hawkers and street vendors, and I think part of it is around hygiene and keeping the city orderly. So I definitely see, like, the Trolley can be a way of making a city more organized but retaining its local vibrancy and culture.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's our vision. The food vendors, they serve a critical role, in terms of access to meals. It's a sector that also creates employment. I think the vision is to make sure that the government sees it as a formal sector, but it's no longer informal. We are having sustainable solutions that are creating good jobs. We just need to empower the vendors, providing them good opportunities, solutions, but also good places where they can operate from. As a company, we've taken it as part of our role to make sure that we are transitioning the vendors, onboarding them using the Halisi Trolley. We train them how to handle food.
Yeah.
And I think working with the ministry, working with the county government, we can achieve this. And of course, looking at the 7 counties in the country.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for that. It's been very exciting and interesting. I've learned a lot. I think you've mentioned you've hit almost all the critical parts of a typical business: production, distribution, pricing, partnerships, and growth, which is quite important. We'll put all the details of the business, the company, for people to engage with you. I know you're in a fundraising tour right now here. You're also looking for other partners in other ways. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of interest to engage with you further and take this conversation offline. And of course, we're also sharing a lot of the production process happening, just to help and give people a view on the real sort of nuts and bolts of such a business.
100%. We are fundraising. We are calling out to our partners, people who are really interested in cooking, clean cooking, access to nutritious food. Come work with us. For the entrepreneurs out there, the only way to scale is to partner, right? Avoid working in silos, because it's gonna take time for you to achieve anything. But if you collaborate, I think we can achieve more. So collaboration.
Wow. I think we'll end on a collaborative note. Thank you so much, Benson.
Thank you.
A real pleasure.
Thank you, sir.